It is time at long last for another classic. JP and the Beans top 5. Today's top 5. Beans, I'll let you introduce this top 5, actually. Give us
Top
the
5.
context here.
You'd be very surprised that we haven't done this, but we've been going down the villain route lately, and I love it. Top 5 Spider-Man villains.
Hi-yo.
We haven't done a lot of Spider-Man top 5, so this is really cracking into it here.
Sorry, Peter. Didn't mean to do that to you, bud.
Yeah, he'll get over it.
He'll have to. He'll
Yeah.
have to. That's
top
great.
5 Spider-Man villains. Of course, favorites, not
Yep.
ranked by like
Nope.
power or whatever, because who gives a crap
Nope.
about that?
Nope, we're not doing
It's
that.
the ones we want to see more of.
We're not doing that. And I'll take it a step further and say that I chose to approach this from the perspective of top 5 Spider-Man villains that we've seen in the movies that I have enjoyed. So this is like my enjoyment ranking of, hey, where have these villains fallen? So I took it even another
I'm
step
just
further.
overall.
I love it. I'm super excited for it. Okay, Beans, without further ado, you go
It's
first.
a good thing I said overall, because this, if I didn't, it would be blasphemy. At number 5, and this was really tough for the 5 slot, because Spidey's got a lot of good villains. Okay, I have the Lizard at number 5 for me. And obviously, if I would have said the movie version, that would have been nuts. Okay, I love the Lizard. I love the relation that Kurt Connors has with Peter. It's one of those mentor-mentee figures where they have a really good relationship, and then all of a sudden he's Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Right. He's off running around, and I think it's hilarious that he wants to make a nation of lizard people. Okay, is it ridiculous? Yes, it's comics. I'm not waving the flag for the lizard people army. Right. I am waving the flag for watching a giant genetically altered lizard to fight Spider-Man. And I think my favorite iteration of the lizard is Spider-Man PS5 2 or Spider-Man 2 for the PS5.
Yep.
Because do they lean into the monster portion for that? Like they hype him up. Like they're like, man, there's a lot of fish that got eaten here, and you're like, uh-oh. You're like, uh-oh. And then they're like, oh,
where those come from?
There's like dead skin. Like the lizard has molted, and you're like, oh golly, how big is he going to be? Huge, by the way. Gigantic. And it's awesome. So it's a personal favorite of mine. And again, just the relationship that Peter has. And when he saves the lizard, guess what? Kurt's not in trouble. He just goes back to being Kurt Connors.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah. You can't blame the guy. He lost an arm in the war. He's just trying to get it back. I don't blame the guy. I got the lizard at number 5.
That's fantastic. Great number 5. Good spot to see the lizard in. My number 5, again, coming at this from the movie villains perspective that we've seen that I've enjoyed the most, I actually have Sandman coming in the number 5 slot. Spider-Man 3 was a mess of a movie.
Oh, yeah.
It was disappointing. That was a bummer. However, Thomas Hayden Church brought it as Sandman.
Phenomenal actor.
He's a great actor. All the flowers to him. In a tough movie, he stood out in a really positive way. He really did. He is like this weirdly perfect fit, both with the physicality and the voice for the character. It's like, sure, of course you're Sandman, right? And he even makes the goofy, comic accurate, like green and gray striped shirt work, right? When they do that, you're like, that's ridiculous. It looks awful. It looks like you're trying to be the green version of Where's Waldo without the hat. But you know what? He may do. And the villain is like weirdly fun to watch on screen with the different permutations that his physical form can take. I thought it worked. In a mess of a movie, the Sandman actually worked. So that's my number 5.
Yeah, and then he was also in No Way Home.
How about that?
Except just stayed in sand form, which lame.
Yeah, that was too bad. I wish he would have, and I get it, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, I wish he would just come back in and stepped in just for a little bit more there, bud. But okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Agreed. My number 4 is Vulture. Listen, anytime you get Michael Keaton to step into a role, that's pretty sweet. And he did a heck of a job with, not by any stretch of the imagination, presenting a comic accurate Adrian Toomes. The comic version of Adrian Toomes is just bonkers, like just crazy nuts, right?
Yep.
Unhinged in every sense of the
like
word.
85.
And also almost dead on account of old age.
Which is, I think that's the craziest part of the Vulture.
It should
It's
never
not that
work.
he's a flying guy with just wings. It's
It
that
should
he's
never work.
85 years
Yeah.
old.
It should never. It should be like the shortest confrontation ever. Like has a heart attack while flying, and it's just like, well, it's just over.
Yeah,
I didn't even have to do
because of
anything.
lack
He
of
just-
oxygen, he can't breathe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It should not work. But I did like this take on the character. Enjoyed the twist that they provided where, hey, he's Liz's dad, right? Spider-Man's initial love or romantic interest in the movie. That was a fun little bit of shenanigans there. And it was believable as much as it can be when you have a mechanical Birdman flying a boot in the sky.
And they managed to make him not look ridiculous.
Correct. So I was entertained, even though did I feel like I had to suspend my disbelief? Yes, but I got to watch Michael Keaton, and to his credit, he brought what he had to the role. He wasn't there just like saying, I'm just here for the check. Like he brought the best that he could to that role, and I found myself entertained by it. So Vulture is my number 4.
Okay, my number 4, again, not movies. Okay, can't emphasize enough. Kraven the Hunter is my number 4.
I understand why you said
Yeah.
can't emphasize
Can't
that
emphasize Kraven is phenomenal. I love it whenever Kraven shows up. Kraven's last hunt in the comics
Oh, man.
is iconic.
Yeah.
Go read it.
Yeah.
It will depress you, by the way, towards the end because it is a very depressing ending.
Right.
But pushes Spider-Man to his limits.
Yep.
In that regard, right?
great.
I love the idea of a villain just hunting Spider-Man for the pure love of the game.
Yep.
That's why Kraven's out there.
Yep.
And he's even more of a hunter in, again, the Spider-Man PlayStation game,
Yeah.
where he is hunting down Spider-Man's villains because he wants to find somebody worthy enough to kill him.
Mhm.
Like, he killed Scorpion and Vulture. Like, it's implied that he kills some of these
Right.
other villains, too, where you're like, oh, golly.
My gosh.
And then finds a worthy opponent in Venom who just chomps his head right off.
Right.
Sorry, spoilers, but it's just from that aspect, and they really go into his family as well, where it's like the strongest survive,
Mhm.
and if you're not the strongest, even if you are my son, I'll just kill you
Yeah.
because you're not worth it. So
That's a heck of a family dynamic, isn't it?
it's, well, there's a reason they don't like each other.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
yeah, I have Kraven at number 4.
How was that movie again?
Awful. One of the worst movies I've ever seen put together. Not even from like the storyline was awful.
Yeah.
From a cut audio recording.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Number 3. Number 3, this is where it gets really hard
Mhm.
because I feel
It
like it
does.
rotates in and out. Your top 3 is probably going to be different because you focused movie solely.
Indeed.
I have Venom at 3,
Mhm.
which is really hard for me because
Yep.
I love the character of Venom.
Yep.
Why he's 3 is because he has become more and more of an anti-hero
Mm.
to an actual hero
Yep.
lately
Yep.
in the comic realm.
Yeah.
Even in the movies, he was never like a
Yeah.
true villain.
Yeah. Agreed. They've really drug him out of villain territory and firmly planted him in the anti-hero realm.
But Venom's first appearance, teaming up with Eddie Brock, being able to override the spider sense, you get a character that doesn't, you get a villain that doesn't hate Spider-Man, hates Peter Parker,
Hmm.
which is a very different take for a lot of Spider-Man's
Yeah.
villains because not every one of them knew Spider-Man's true identity,
Correct.
right? So
Correct.
you had both of them team up, hate Peter Parker, and they're going after Peter Parker's normal, regular life.
Yep.
And they're trying to ruin it.
Yeah.
And then they just show up at the worst places.
Mhm.
And they are pushing Peter in a way mentally that not a lot of other villains do.
Mhm.
And so for that, he's at 3.
Mhm.
If he would have stayed villain, it's 1.
Yeah.
It's fully 1. And
Yeah.
I love Venom as an anti-hero
Yeah.
because Venom's dope. Venom is such a cool concept.
Yeah. It's
And
giving him another layer of just intrigue and connectivity.
Right. And
Yeah.
had they overdone it in the symbiote department? 1,000%.
Yep.
1,000%. However, in a weird way too, I don't know if they fully cracked the symbiote as
Mhm.
well either. I think
Mhm.
there's a lot left on the bone too, which
Yeah.
again is a crazy thing to say probably
Yeah,
because
they've overdone it from a quantity perspective. They haven't tapped into the depth that's there.
They have and they haven't, but yes.
Yeah,
So
not enough.
for me, Venom's at 3.
It's great. It's a great number 3. My number 3 is Mysterio. I really enjoyed this version of Mysterio in Spider-Man Far From Home. Jake Gyllenhaal, on the surface, like, this seems like a bit of an odd fit. How is he going to pull this off as dear sweet Quentin Beck? I love the twist where he's a just disgruntled, right, former Stark employee, but not just disgruntled, quite capable, right? Quentin's actually got the chops to back his grudge against Tony. He's like, my guy, I actually came up with something terrific, and you pooed all over it. Thanks a lot for that. Gyllenhaal's presentation of Quentin Beck, like, he has this in him, Gyllenhaal does, where he can unleash the crazy a bit, like the unhinged, right? Just enough where it's like your feet are still on the ground. Oh, some of those toes are starting to come off. Uh-oh, we've left reality. And so I thought he threaded the needle very well in his portrayal. And I was pleasantly surprised at how formidable of an opponent Mysterio proved to be for Spider-Man in this particular movie, right? The whole dynamic where Spider-Man's Spidey sense had to get kind of reactivated or re-unlocked, that sequence was super fun, where he had to rely exclusively on his Spidey sense, had to keep the old eyeballs closed in order to take down Mysterio's final drone attack, was flipping awesome. And to see Mysterio get the better of Spider-Man at different points in that movie was pretty satisfying. So again, they made him into a much more formidable character than I would have thought was possible. And it was just enjoyable. It was a fun flick, fun time watching Mr. Gyllenhaal do his thing. So that's my number 3. My number 2 may surprise you a little bit. I actually have Green Goblin in the 2 slot. Okay?
It doesn't from a movie perspective.
Yes. Willem Dafoe's terrific.
Phenomenal.
He's terrific. The first Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire does not age particularly well.
See, I disagree.
Okay. Which I'm not trying to dunk on the movie. There's just elements of it that are rough. However, Willem Dafoe's portrayal of Green Goblin ages tremendously well. Like, I'll take that all day long. He's a weird looking dude, right? Like, to the point where you're going, how did this guy actually like do this in Hollywood? Truly, because he's just a weird looking fella. He is. But he has such an intensity that is just, again, he's not overacting. It's just he's cutting loose and is genuine, is such a great fit for Norman Osborn and his variety of the Green Goblin. I love that they brought him back. I can't believe it worked as well as it did in No Way Home. That was remarkable. That was really remarkable. The reason I dock him into the 2 slot and he's not in the 1 slot for me, the character of Green Goblin, I mean, is that he had to endure some shenanigans in the Andrew Garfield version. That was brutal.
I wouldn't even count that.
Nope. You might as well not count it. And we haven't yet actually gotten a Tom Holland version of the Green Goblin. We've borrowed from the Tobyverse,
I'm
which is
fine
fine.
with that, though.
Yeah, it's fine. But eventually we're going to need to see a Tom Holland Green Goblin. We're not there yet, and I'm not in a rush either, but that's why Green Goblin is, for me, number 2.
Okay. My number 2 is Doc Ock, Dr. Octopus. And I enjoy his character. His character's actually gotten a really nice evolution. Because, in the comics, it's just, he's a bad guy. He just is. He loses funding. He steals for money. That's what he does. I really enjoyed the renaissance for the character in Spider-Man 2. One of the most tragic villain stories that ends up getting redeemed at the end. Alfred Molina is incredible as Otto.
Correct.
They go this route too in the Spider-Man PS5 game as well, where you slowly, or the first Spider-Man game, where you slowly start to see him lose himself because essentially his disease is starting to melt, or the robot arms are taking over per usual, and then he wants to kill Norman.
AI, watch out.
And I would even go further to say I think it's even a more tragic reveal for Peter once he figures out that's Doc Ock, and then he reveals his mask, or he reveals his identity to Otto, and heart-wrenching. So I just have always found him more appealing in that sense.
Yeah.
I do enjoy him also in the comics in the sense of, look, this dude formed the Sinister Six. Like, he brought Spider-Man very close to death multiple times. Even swapped brains with him and became Spider-Man as just a pure vendetta to be like, I would be a better Spider-Man.
Freaking comics,
Guess
man.
what? He wasn't. He wasn't a better Spider-Man. And
Had the limbs for it, and that was it.
but what's beautiful though is he concedes, and it's such a cool story moment to be
Yeah.
like, yeah, I can't be you.
Yep.
So take your body back.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, a villain that has learned.
How about that?
Crazy.
Novel idea.
So Otto has always been impactful in
Yep.
that regard.
Yep.
So I've got him at number 2.
That's a great number 2. You're number 1, sir.
Number 1, I have the Green Goblin.
There he is.
That's a layup for me.
Mm-hmm.
Willem Dafoe, for all the reasons that you
So good.
mentioned, phenomenal.
Yep.
And it's one of those things too where you see Raimi's version of Green Goblin and it
Yep.
does work, but you're
Yes.
kind of disappointed that you don't get the old school look
Yep.
because you see the concept art for the old school look and you're like, oh,
That's
you,
so good.
you should have done that. But it works for the movie because they're like,
Correct.
oh, it's military grade,
Yep.
blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
No, there's no one that pushes Norman or that there's no one that pushes Peter to his limits like Norman does.
Yep.
No one even close.
Yep.
I've always enjoyed their dynamic.
Correct.
Norman is one of those guys you want to see lose
Mm-hmm.
over and over again
Mm-hmm.
instead of having like the multiple personality where
Yeah.
one is good and one is bad. Guess what? They both suck.
Mm-hmm.
They both suck. Just one is controlled and serious and is
Right.
thinking through everything. Green Goblin's just unhinged version of that.
Yep. Just pure villain.
And that's the big difference.
Mm-hmm.
And not a good dad.
Nope.
Never been a good dad.
Nope. Not a very neat guy.
He lives in comic book infamy for killing Gwen Stacy.
Yeah.
Like
Yes, he should.
that alone puts him at like the top because he finds out who Peter Parker is,
Mm-hmm.
and he finds out
Just
who Spider-Man
mean.
is.
Just
yes,
mean.
and just like, oh yeah, I'm
Mean
gonna
spirited.
I'm gonna ruin
Bush
your
League
life.
right out of the gate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we could keep going and going and going, but Norman Osborn, Green Goblin, it's number 1, dude.
It's a great number one. It's a great number 1. My number 1, again, coming at this from the Spider-Man movies perspective, for me is Doc Ock. And it's a close 1 and 2 because Willem Dafoe's portrayal is tremendous. However, given that we have had just the one Doc Ock so far, as portrayed by Alfred Molina, primarily, of course, in Spider-Man 2, but also when he came back in No Way Home, like, the guy brings it, he crushes it, he is, and you said this really well, he's a tragic villain, right? He's almost a reluctant villain, but then he does tap into that darker side where he's going, all right, let's go full villain mode. But he always has that motivation where he truly thinks he's doing what's best for the rest of humanity, right? He doesn't lose that altruistic edge, and it's when he is brought back to it by Peter Parker at the end of his particular character arc in Spider-Man 2 that he gets that little brief moment of redemption. But the dynamic with the arms is so like weirdly fun. The fight scenes in Spider-Man 2 are tremendous. Just when you think Peter's got the old Doc taken care of, boom, there's another arm coming out of nowhere. Like the scene where they're battling first on the building, and then they crash down onto the train. That is such a just peak superhero movie scene. I absolutely love it. But he's such an empathetic villain, right? You can understand his motivations from start to finish and connect with him. For me, that puts him at the very tippity top in the number 1 slot.
Fair enough.
Doc Ock. I love it.
Yeah. Dude, Spider-Man's Rogues is amazing.
Oh,
There's so many
good ones to
Oh,
choose
yeah.
from.
like I was like Scorpion, Rhino, Electro,
Yep.
Chameleon's not a great pull, but Chameleon's in there, right? You
Yeah.
got some of the newer
Yeah.
ones, Morloon,
Right.
Carnage,
Oh, so good.
which just didn't get done well in a movie.
no,
but
not yet.
Carnage and oh geez, you could keep going and going and going.
Yeah, that's part of the fun, right? Is there are multiple Spider-Man villains that we haven't even tapped into. And I was curious if Kingpin was going to end up on your list because he can be a great Spider-Man villain. I agree that he's not on your list. I agree that he's not on my list. but we haven't seen Kingpin be a problem for Spider-Man yet.
Well, and even like I go back and every interaction I've had with Kingpin and Spider-Man, like the only one that I can think of that sticks out is the 90s cartoon.
Sure.
Because they just make Kingpin like the guy who's financing all the villains.
Yep.
And it works really well for that cartoon,
For
right?
sure.
But like
For sure.
I think of the Spider-Man video game. Their interaction is very much limited to the very first mission of the game, and then Kingpin's just off the board.
Yeah.
And the whole point of the story is now there is a void for a gang,
Yeah.
and then you have a gang war going on in New York City. And then, you know, it might have changed if we see Vincent D'Onofrio go up against Spidey. And like in this, oh my gosh, please. It won't happen.
Correct.
But I think if those two were to ever share the screen, my tune might change very quickly.
yeah.
But it's
Point is, there's a lot of still yet untapped potential in Spider-Man's rogues gallery.